Hi, welcome to DIY with Gayle in the Ketchikan Public Library. Today we're going to talk about Merimo balls. Have you ever heard of them? Most people know of them as being called moss balls, but they really aren't a moss ball. They are an algae ball, and I have those down here in my cup. Now these come from a lake in Japan. They actually grow in Iceland and Scotland. They are just algae. And these are teeny tiny ones that I ordered a couple of weeks ago. And you literally can take them out. And the idea is to give them a little roll and to turn them into balls. At the bottom of these lakes, they roll across the ocean as the currents move, and they become little balls. These balls grow bigger and bigger and bigger. And what we're going to do today is make our little algae ball, our Merimo ball, a little home. And you wonder, why am I doing this? Okay, well, as the plant lady at the library, I do the plants. The next thing is to go underwater, right? These can be put into aquariums. These are a little small. The fish will probably devour them. But they do well in aquariums, and today we are going to put them in their own little homes. I purchased these, as I said, about 2 weeks ago. They arrived in a small baggie, and I don't remember how many they said are in there, and all I did was throw them in here, and it said to go by and touch them every once in a while. Give them a twirl. And I cannot believe how satisfying that's been. If one of your kids is going, hey mom, I want a pet, well, here you go. If they can keep this alive, you can have a pet. It really is kind of fun to pet them. All right, so I went and looked for a bunch of different jars. And I'm going to tell you, when I ordered them, ordered the little algae balls, this was the first one I thought of. But then after being able to twirl and stuff in the little cup, this is, no, this one, not at all. Okay, we need a nice open area that you can reach in and swirl your moss ball, okay? And so, what to put in there? I like marbles. Marbles are one of those things that I just think is awesome. They don't lose their color. They don't lose anything in water. Where I have these right here, which you see in a lot of aquariums, but I want you to see something. Oh, it's already on my fingers. These all chip after a time, and you end up with that stuff in your tank and on your hands. And so these are beautiful to use for something else, not in the water. There's some plain ones in here, those are fine, but these colored ones, not so fine. And who knows, that could have had red on it from before, I don't know. But I decided not to use those because of that. And these being a plant, I wanted to be able to keep them alive. So I washed all my marbles, and then I have some water. Now, my water is rainwater, and that's all I've used on these for the amount of time I've had them in this glass. And they seem to be doing really well. My water has sat in the room that I am putting these back into, which is the same room I brought them out of. And then, as I said, you just take your little ball, and once a week you have to change the water on these guys and give them a little squeeze and get the old water out, and then add them. And they should sink. That is a healthy algae ball. Here's one right here. I'm just going to roll a little bit. Okay. This is the first time I've had them out of the water itself. I've watched a bunch of videos on it. Squeeze the water out and just roll them. I think I'm going to put about 4 in that one. I think that one can handle 4. These are very slow growing. They should stay this beautiful green. That's why I know my water is good, is because these are staying beautifully green. If they start turning brown, do exactly what I'm doing here by squeezing the water out and putting them in new fresh water. You might have to add a little bit of salt. They do like pink salt, just a dash every once in a blue moon, like you're gonna give them a special treat. Okay? Now these are gonna grow and they're gonna continue to get big, and every day you go in there and you twirl them around. Hi guys. Okay? You really don't have to do anything else to them. If you do have a brown problem and that doesn't help, maybe your water isn't got enough nutrition in it for them. Also, people do take these and add snails or shrimp. The snails and the shrimp do eat a little bit off of them, but not much. And both snail and shrimp will eat the stuff that's in the tank itself. I'm calling this a tank. Anyway, they will eat the stuff in there and actually do very well. I am not going to add critters. Maybe when my balls are bigger, you know, like, ooh, maybe this size. When they're this size, I actually purchased some shrimp eggs, and I'll give that a try, and I will definitely show you guys when I do that. Okay, so I really like that one, but I saved the best for last. So I've had this little bowl, and yes, it has a few little chips on it and stuff, but I've always liked it because I just thought it's a good start of something. And then this came along, and I just love it. Doesn't that look great together? And for a Merimo bowl, I thought, wonderful. And so I could glue this in here, but I don't like permanence, I guess, maybe is my problem, a phobia against permanence. So I'm not going to glue it. What I am going to do is take some of those glass things that I said I didn't want in the water, because who knows what will happen as far as the color coming off. So I thought if I put them in here, that gives me extra weight to hold my beautiful little dish down, which makes it much heavier, because I am going to stick my hand in there and twirl. Okay, so then when I add that, and then I'm going back to marbles, you guys. I just love marbles. The reason I love marbles is back in the 60s, homes used to have these dividers between the front door and the living room. And in those dividers, they were sort of pieces of wood that went like this, and then there was a spot that you could plant plants. Well, my grandmother kept marbles in hers. And when my brothers and I came to visit, we would borrow her marbles and go next door and play marbles with the next door boy. He had a sand pit in his yard, and it was fun. All the marbles ended up going to his house because we were such horrible players. But they remind me of my grandmother, and this last couple of weeks with the crocheting and the marbles, it's been wonderful. I talked to her the other day. She's 103, and got to tell her some of the things I've been able to share. Doesn't that look awesome? I think the marbles look great. I wasn't sure about the 2 colors, but I'm going for it. I really like a lot of color. I'm going to add my water. Okay. I will be adding more water to that later. And let's put a couple more balls. Now, beans, my balls are so small, you guys, you can roll several of them together. You do not have to you know, have them all as teeny tiny as I have. And it's going to take a while for them to stay together, but the more that I put my fingers in there and swish them around. Now, I thought this would be great. I have a grandson who has wanted fish, and I just think this is kind of better than fish. Of course, I've never had luck with fish. I kill them all. See that? And like I said, they like to be handled, you guys, and that is what the fun part of this is. I don't want to lose them down in that marbles, but I just might be. This one's like 4 of them together. Now, if I did put the shrimp in there, or when I do put the shrimp in there, they said that the shrimp will actually live inside these little balls. Okay, so I want to squeeze him out because he's getting his new water today. And really, that is all there is to it. I have several other jars here that I'm going to turn into different settings for these little guys. And like I said, go in and swirl. And all of mine are sinking, which is really cool. They said that sinking is best for them. Some do float, and they say it's not a big problem unless they're turning brown and floating. And then also you might need to squeeze a little harder. Maybe you have too much air in your little algae pocket. Okay. So there it is. There's my Merimo algae aquariums, not terrariums, aquariums. Okay, with marbles. And of course you can add all the little fishy gadgets you want. These items can also go into aquariums. Fish, they do well with fish. The only problem is they do need to be cleaned on a regular basis. They need to be squished out and cleaned so that they continue to be healthy. All right, give it a try. Let me know. Remember, cold water. They like cold. They also do not like a lot of light, so do not put them in your windows. No direct light, okay? A cold room, the room that I take you to when I do my plants, nice and cool. And if your plants, if the algae balls during the summer are starting to look a little and you can't keep the water chilled enough, use ice cubes. Just remember, they love Ketchikan because Ketchikan doesn't have enough light to keep a lot of our plants going. And so this is perfect. No direct light, no sunlight, cool temperatures. So you can bet when we lost the power and we're on rolling blackouts the other day, these guys were loving it. All right, give it a try. See you at the library. Mask on.